Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be working on this body that I'd started a while ago. Um, I'll just quickly zoom out here and show you guys what progress I've made, mainly on the lower frames here. I did some of the walking animations, some of the carry, push, pull stuff. I'm going to be working on the sidewalk right now and show you how easy that is. So I've taken my torso, my sideways facing torso, which was originally way the heck down here, this guy here. I took this exact frame and I've erased the feet basically and put it on my base layer. So what that's going to allow me to do is to draw above and below that. Basically, I'm going to take my time with the feet and the hands after I've pasted this into my base layer. So this one here, I'm going to move it a little bit forward so that when he's standing, he's got a little bit of direction. These frames here, there's a lot of emphasis on the movement of the body in the newbie sprite. I'm going to kind of rely more on the position of the feet to give it away, the feet and the arms. This body is just going to be pretty much static throughout, which is a little bit lazy, but it's a stiff coat. That's what I'm going with. That's the excuse. Another thing is I'm doing my sword swipe here. Basically, I'm going to get to run through with just the bare minimum requirement for just the arms and the feet. And then once that's done, the next part of that is going to look like trying to set up the frames so I can just copy them over to the other side. So I'll have to show you what that looks like right at the end here. Okay, so this shouldn't take very long. I'm really doing this part pretty fast. I'm going to take this one up. And my logic on this is I can pretty much just copy the newbie body for the feet and the hands. So what do I need to do for that? I need to grab my colors from my base first. I'm going to be looking at the colors that I've got on my feet specifically. I'm going to take my paintbrush down to a single pixel so I can select this comfortably. So I've got a dark purple for my shoe. I've got a light purple that I'm also going to be using, which is, or a lighter purple. And I'm going to just kind of casually, is that the same color? That's the same darn color. That's tricking my eyes. Okay, I'm going to use the lighter purple and then the dark color, which we got going on too. Make my swatch a little bit wider there. And I'll take my darker color as well. Okay, so that's it. That's all I need. I could probably go for the light color, but I think because I'm just because I'm doing the shoes at this stage, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So I'm going to take the base down, and I'm going to draw my shoes real fast. Okay, so I'm going to take my shoe, come down to here, go across here. I'm not being too picky with it because I'm just going to fill this. And then from there, I'm going to come in with my dark color. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the light color first. The light color is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to do the top of my shoe on this particular pane. Do the dark color on this side. Coming around. Fill it, really straightforward, really easy. And then I'm going to take the light color. And I don't think this one really needs much of light color. I want to give it a little bit on this side here to emphasize that it's kind of coming out from behind the player. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my base layer visible. And I'm going to emphasize the dark color around the edges of where my shoe is going to be showing on the screen. Okay, so again, it doesn't have to be super perfect. It's something where as we do this, we're going to get better and better. That goes for me too. But yeah, so looking at it, just basically trying to copy what we have with the existing shoe from the game itself, or from the body template that we have in the background here. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a little bit of a rounded edge. Get a little bit of character on my foot top there. Looks a little bit like a cartoony character. And I think that's really what we're going for with this. I mean, there's a degree of realism that we're looking at with some of the aspects of this, but I think when we're getting to these feet, they're pretty big and clowny. Okay, so that's the first. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do is take this and bring it down one. I know I can get away with that. The reason being, I don't want it to bend with the bottom layer of this guy here. And I'm gonna fix this jaggy because I see this here. Okay, looks pretty good. Gonna erase this on here and go on to the next one. So again, really super fast. It doesn't need to be super perfect because the animation is what we're going for. I'm just gonna keep going on the next one. And you guys get the idea pretty quick of what this is gonna look like. The shoe is basically gonna just copy the graphic from the pre-existing. I think I'll just do this one and then I'll show you guys in the other. We'll do the a hand next and I'll skip to the end. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We've got a similar but not exactly the same graphic going on here as the above layer, which is the coat, or the below layer. Yeah, that's base. That's below. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, so that's what the base is going to look like there. I'm just going to do the same thing with the arm, just to give you guys a double up on this. I'm going to take the palette out for my shoe. I'm going to switch it up for my arm. So what's on my arm? Actually, I'm going to take my arms from below. So I have these arms here. I've got a light color. I have a dark color. And then I have the hand itself, which is the brightest color there. And then I have this orange kind of accent detail I may or may not use for the walking frames. Okay, so from there, actually there's two of those. I have a dark one and a light one. Oh, there's three. Oh no, there's buttons. Yeah, there's buttons too. Okay, well, I may or may not use those for the running animation. It's more precise, more pronounced rather, when you're looking at it from this point of view. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up to my my running frame here. Do the ones that I have the shoes in, just the first couple. And I'm going to paste this, those colors that I had there. That's gonna be my little template on my palette. And that's in my arms layer, so I'm going to knock out my base layer. I've got my shoes already in there. Oh, and conveniently my shoes have this dark color, which I will need in my palette as well. I might as well just chuck that in there. So my first color is going to be my base dark color. I'm going to, again, copy the basics mostly, more or less. And I'm going to kind of make the hand a little bit duller. I'm not going to make it so huge. I'm going to make it a little bit small. I just don't want the detail on the other pieces of the sprite to get overwhelmed by the detail on the hand. The hand is like, I don't want it to be huge. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. Basically switching out to the base template and kind of doing my best to highlight it with the dark outline, because the reason is that this is an arm that's moving in front of the other image, so it's important that that gets defined from the other image somehow. Like that you should have the visual definition that this is an object that's coming across that front. Like it doesn't blend in with the other graphics. Like you can see here that my arm is now coming across over in front of the yellow chain that we had drawn previously, and I've also got this guy up here. So this one here is going to get a little bit smaller still too. Looks pretty good. Okay, so that's one frame here. I'm going to lighten a little bit. I'm going to give some little something, little character to this guy here. He's got a shoulder going on. And that little tiny bit of detail will turn up in the graphic later when you're seeing it animated. I am not going to use these guys at the bottom, this detail. Actually, no, you know what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use those button lights, highlights rather. I'm going to use only that color, or the cuff, because the cuff is important. That shows up in all the other graphics as well, in all the other pieces here. Okay, so the next one, I'm just going to do one more frame here. I'm going to take those same colors that we got going on. I'm going to do the same process, use my dark color to kind of block in what I'm looking at for the sleeve here. And then I'm going to take my hand color. I'm trying to kind of mimic the shape, if not the position and detail on the other one, even though I want it to be a little bit smaller. You can do the same here, where I'm going to bring in my pre-existing template. It looks pretty good. I know where my hand is. And I'm going to swap my face out and just highlight along here. I'm going to actually accentuate this a little bit more because the shoulder is important on this particular frame. I want to get that shoulder in there. And I think that's pretty good for this one. No, I'm going to do the black outline on the other side too, because it needs to come out a little bit more. Needs to pop, guys. This should pop. Okay, so you can see here where this is going. Basically, I'm just going to copy, as ham-fisted as it is, I'm going to copy the graphic all the way along. I think I'm going to move this one back a little bit. Oh, oops, grab some of my shoe there accidentally. I'm going to grab just the top. And I'm going to move it up a little bit. Give it a little bit of positioning so that my chain is out of the way, so that the chain doesn't come into that graphic. I also need to do a little bit of detail on the side over here. And because I noticed, like, if I look at, this is super important, if I look outside of my base and my other detail here, I can see that in the upper frame here, in the first running frame, this hand is small. It's only 3 pixels with an outline. And then in this one, it's getting larger, so it's got more pixels with a larger outline. So I'm going to actually increase the size of my existing one. In my first panel, it was 2 pixels only. And in this one, I'm going to make it a full 6 pixels or 7 pixels here. So it looks a little bit beefier. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing where I will draw in the outline on that and then position it so it's a little bit more comfortable, because that doesn't really look like where you would see that hand. And then what that might do is create the need to, so I actually need to erase some of those. I'll zoom in a little bit to do that. Just right there, I think, is the only one. I'm good to go. Okay, so that does it for my 2 frames that I'm showing as an example here. I will get back to you guys in a bit and we will see the progress. All right, here we are. That was pretty quick. I've gone through and I basically rambled over the existing frames. As I've mentioned before, I pretty much just copied the arm positions and placements, adjusting a little bit for how they look in relation to the body that we're working on. You can see a little bit of the difference here. Similar positioning, similar angles, similar detail, but just a little bit different, positioning, because our body is a little bit sleeker, a little bit slim, and not so animated. Okay, so I've taken those. I'm going to, the next step is merge down. So I'll merge my layer down. My arms are now attached to my base, so the torso is attached to the arms and the legs. The next part of what I'm going to do here is take that entire set all the way from the top to the bottom, going as close to the proper dimensions as I can get, and I'm going to copy this whole thing right here and paste it, and then I'm going to use F for a flip, That's a horizontal flip I'm doing. And now I'm going to adjust the location of just one of these frames. See, I've got an existing body up here that I'm going to use. So what I will do is I will move this frame over until he's in the proper location for that, right there. And conveniently, the thing that I was actually the most worried about has been resolved. So we had those little chains that were showing up. They're not such a big pain now. I will have to come through and I'm going to eliminate these chains on this side where they do show up. But the majority of these frames have absolutely no mention of these chains because the body actually moves in such a way where, oh, there we have one there. What's happened is that they don't, they're not pronounced because the arm is in the way for a lot of the frames. But I will throw a little bit of shadow in there instead of the chain where it does come in. Okay, so not too shabby. Took me about maybe 20 minutes, half an hour to the rest of that detail that I had shown you guys there. And now I can just easily copy paste across. That's standard procedure. There is a little bit of edit like that. I've got a little bit of editing to do to make that work. But otherwise this is looking pretty good. Okay, so thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, looking at what I'm doing with these frames and how to use those layers in such a way where we can easily make little arms and legs and stuff with our torso animation. All right, so thanks for watching, and yeah, see you next time.